If you're anything like me, you probably have a routine when you sit down to watch Chicago Fire. You get comfortable, you quiet your phone, and you prepare yourself to be on the edge of your seat for an hour. We've been doing this for years. We're part of the 51 family. We've seen it all. The 5-alarm blazes, the rescues that defy logic, the laughter in the common room, and the heartbreaking goodbyes at the memorial wall. We are used to the danger. We expect it. But sometimes, the show does something that breaks through that expectation. It reminds you that these characters we love, who feel like our own friends, are not invincible. And that's what's happened now. Seeing Kelly Severide, our Kelly, laid up in a hospital bed after this latest tragic accident, it just hits different. It's a gut punch. There's a silence in Firehouse 51 that feels deafening, and honestly, I think we all feel it in our own living rooms. He's not just a firefighter. He's the heart of Squad. Let's be real for a minute. Kelly Severide is the anchor of that house. Yes, he's got the swagger. He's the guy who will break every rule in the book if it means pulling someone out of a collapse. He's impulsive, he's intense, and he carries the weight of the world on those broad shoulders. We've watched him for over a decade, and he's never been the guy who sits on the sidelines. He's the one who runs into the explosion. He's the one who takes the extra risk. He's the leader of Squad 3, and his team, and us, if we're honest, has always looked at him as the guy who will find a way, who will make the impossible rescue, and who will always walk out of that smoke. We've seen him hurt. We've seen him grapple with that career-threatening shoulder injury. We've seen him break down over Shay. We've seen him navigate the ghost of his father, Benny. We've seen him wrestle with his own demons, pushing people away because he's afraid to let them get too close to the fire. But over the years, we've also seen him grow. We've watched him go from a lone wolf to a true leader. We've watched him mentor Gallo and Ritter. We've watched him, against all odds, open his heart completely and become a husband. And that's what makes this so terrifying. The accident that stopped 51, and us, in our tracks. We didn't even have time to process it. 1 minute, he was where he always is, in the middle of the chaos, giving orders, being Severide. The next, the world exploded. It's the sounds that get you. The muffled shouting. The frantic calls over the radio. And then, the words that every single Chicago Fire fan dreads hearing. Severide is down. In that moment, the whole show grinds to a halt. The fire doesn't matter. The case doesn't matter. All that matters is the look of sheer, unfiltered panic on the faces of his family. When you see Cap and Tony, who are usually cracking jokes, looking absolutely broken, that's when you know it's bad. When you see Herman and Mauch, the veterans of the house, frozen in disbelief. When you see Chief Bowden, the father to them all, with that deep, painful terror in his eyes that he tries so hard to hide. They pulled him from the wreckage, and it wasn't our hero. It was just a man, broken and still. The journey in the Ambo, with Violet and Brett, or the Ambo team on scene, working frantically, was a blur of flashing lights and sterile medical jargon that all translates to one thing. We might lose him. The hospital watch, where heroes have to wait. Now he's in the hospital. And this is the hardest part. Firefighters are people of action. They solve problems. They run, they climb, they cut, they rescue. They are not built to sit in a sterile beige waiting room, drinking burnt coffee and staring at a wall. They are helpless. And for the 51 family, helpless is a kind of torture they aren't equipped for. You can just picture the scene at Chicago Med, the hushed, anxious whispers, the way they all stand up every single time a doctor walks into the room, the hollow-eyed exhaustion. And then there's Stella, our strong, brilliant, trailblazing Stella kid. She has fought for everything she has. Her spot on truck, her Girls on Fire program, her lieutenant's badge. She fought for her place in 51, and she fought for Kelly's heart. She is the one who finally broke through his walls. She is his home. Now she's sitting by his bedside, holding his hand, and trying to project a strength she cannot possibly feel. She has to be the strong wife, the lieutenant, and the friend, all while her entire world is hanging by a thread. The Severide partnership is the bedrock of the show for so many of us, and seeing that bedrock crack is profoundly painful. She is having to face the one reality that firefighters' spouses live in fear of every single day. Why this one feels so personal. We've watched these people get banged up, but this accident feels different. Kelly Severide has always been the show's symbol of